welcome. Thank you for
Thank you.
thank you for starting this business, bringing people the joy of golf in their homes. It's awesome.
Yeah, it was kind of just a hobby at first.
Yeah. Well, that was sort of my origin story curiosity is it did start out as a hobby, right? Like you didn't set out to build a business of this scale.
No.
And at what point, like, tell us about how you started and tell us at what point you realized this was more than a hobby.
Yeah, well, it was I was a golf course superintendent, so I managed a golf course and I had a lot of free time in the winter and pretty much my whole life I've always looked for something to do in the winter.
Yeah.
And it just started near about the time I started this in 2019, like 2018 and 2017 I was researching golf simulators and there wasn't like there is now, there wasn't a lot of like options that were affordable. So, I just kind of was researching, and then when I found an affordable option, I decided to. It was just like a partnership with Monticello, where I was going to put golf simulators in because they had nothing going on,
Yeah.
and I put them in, and it was successful, and then liked the product and asked if I could sell it, because I had people asking about it, and that's just kind of it snowballed from there.
That's so cool. So you were researching specifically as a part of your employment, like I want to add this thing to the club.
But no, it was on the side, I didn't
Okay.
work for Monticello. I was
I
working at
see.
Como Golf Course in Minneapolis or in St. Paul, and
Gotcha.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you
So I just needed something to do in the winter.
You didn't install the first simulator in the same resort you were a manager at.
Nope. The first one I ever put
Oh,
up
I
was in
just
a garage
assumed.
that I rented from a lady off of Facebook Marketplace.
Wait,
So
what? Tell us that story.
yeah, let me turn my volume off here on my phone. I forgot.
I didn't hear it,
Um,
so.
all right, I'll just throw it on the floor. Um, yeah, so after I approached Monticello, I needed to build a prototype, like there was no instructions on how to do this. So um, I put an ad on Facebook Marketplace looking for some space to put this thing up. And some lady reached out to me and she was like literally right down the street from Denise. Didn't know Denise at the time, but uh, yeah, she rented me her garage. She had a garage separate of her house, and I built the first golf simulator in that garage.
I had no idea. That's
It
hilarious.
was horrible too. Yeah, I think it almost fell down, but
Do you have pictures of it? I want to see pictures of it.
I'd have to look. I probably have one somewhere.
And how long was it up? How long did you rent that space?
Uh, I had the space for a couple of years. That
Okay.
particular golf simulator was only up probably less than a year, and then I modified it and made it better. And like it was literally made out of boards, the frame, and bolted together. And by the time I took it down, all the bolts were loose. And
Oh my
I'm like,
God.
oh.
How
So
many people did you bring into that space as a like,
Uh, well, it was mostly just Monticello. Like they came in, and then
okay,
other people who just came to play, my
yeah.
friends and stuff, but never really showed it off
Oh,
until I redid it. I ended up redoing it all. I'm building more like what we do now. It was a custom built-in type
yeah,
deal, but yeah,
yeah.
made a lot of mistakes, redid a lot of stuff.
I don't think
Uh,
Denise ever told me that story. That's
yeah,
fast.
she didn't know me then. Yeah, so this was before COVID.
That was like a
Um,
brave lady on Facebook Marketplace too. She's like,
yeah.
you could use my space.
Yeah, well, it was like I said, she had her house over here, and then
Yeah,
this was a separate garage with a different driveway and everything. And yeah,
that's amazing. That's amazing. Um, all right. So then at what point in your figuring this out, installing your first simulators, were you like, this is more than just a thing I'll do in the winter? This is how did the business evolve? What did it look like?
Well, I kept working at the golf course, gosh, it must have been, what was till 2021, 2021. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I worked there till the fall of 2021, where I was just doing both. Um, and during COVID, my kids had to, everybody's kids couldn't go to school, so they're doing homeschool, and I'm working this and another job, and so we didn't have time to like do the in the house school. So
Yeah.
put a Facebook Marketplace ad up, found Denise, and she was teaching my kids, and
I remember that. Like,
yeah,
long before she started helping you with this business. I remember
yeah,
her saying she did that.
yeah. So and then once they went back to school, I was like, hey, you know, I got a I got a job for you if you want, and I just didn't want to deal with tracking of packages anymore. It was taking up too much of my time. So
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, that's what she started doing for me. But yeah, 2021 just got to be a little too much of both. So took the plunge and just had to quit my job at the golf course. And I've been there for 7 years. And
Those
um,
first few sales must have been, I mean, you're raising a family, like it's
yeah. Oh,
different.
yeah. No, I just started paying off all my bills. I'm like, this is great. It was fun.
Yeah. The first few, sorry, I just realized my computer needs to be plugged in. The first few sales after you took that leap must have felt like a lot of pressure.
Yeah, no, I was scared to do it, but there was one event. I'm not even going to talk about that, but it forced me into it. So
Okay.
water under the bridge now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And okay, so one of my questions was like, how did you decide as you went who to work with? And like, how quickly did you try a product, realize it was not the best fit? Try like, how many products have you been through in all of this? Because I mean, you have so much knowledge in this industry at this
yeah,
point. Like, what did it look like at the beginning, all the trial and error and like figuring it out?
yeah. When I first started, I was only selling just the launch monitor, and then I was like, oh, I got to figure out all this other stuff. And so I do like I'm the type of person that just does a ton of research on things that interest me. Like
Yeah.
if I want to go buy a car, let's say I want to go buy a car.
Yeah.
I sit and research the heck out of the car that I want, or I figure out, kind of narrow it down, and then I take that one car and I research, and I did the same thing with the golf simulators. I just researched the heck out of it, and you if you spend enough time researching it, you learn to know like
Huh.
what stuff is the best stuff, and just and then I started working with Jay, golf simulator
Right.
videos, and he's super smart and like um I take advice from him because he knows a lot about the technology and things like that, and then the rest of it I just kind of figure out as I go.
That's awesome. Were there
Yeah,
any
so
companies, and no need to name names here, but were there any companies where you like loved the product, but it was just like really complicated to get
yeah.
to the customer or to, you know what I mean? Like
Oh, for
where the
sure.
quality of
Yeah.
the product didn't match the ease of using it or of
Yep.
like getting it where you needed it to go.
Yeah, we had a computer company that we used to work with, for example, and
Yeah.
we just always had so many problems with. Mostly it was Denise having the problems, as I make an order and then I kind of pass it on to her. And yeah, so now like we work with Surf Thing and everything's super smooth. So
That was a really
that's one
fun interview.
example. But
They were
what's that?
great. That was a really
Yeah,
fun
no,
interview.
Scott's great.
I loved Scott. That was great. I was kind of thinking like you must have learned a lot about business in general, at least in this industry, through those trial and error. Like, I
Yeah,
mean, customer
yeah,
service is clearly super important. Communication is clearly super important. Like, you must have learned a lot about business in general as you grew
yeah.
there.
I had a small like understanding of it. Never really took any classes for business, but just in all my little ventures throughout my life. Learned some things, and I'm still learning things. So,
Yeah. You
um,
can name names or not in this question, but like, are there businesses or vendors or anyone you've worked with in the last 5 years who are like, I want to do it like that, whether they know it or not, like they're sort of a mentor for me as I grow this thing.
yeah, I do like a lot of aspects of Carl's Place, and
Yeah.
I've been pretty good friends with the owner of Surf Thing since I started this business. It was I wasn't even selling products when I got to know Greg at
Yeah.
Surf Thing, and so yeah, and I took Casey. He worked with Greg at the time, and he was an installer, and I learned a lot of things from him too. He owns his own simulation company. He's been around much, much longer than me.
Hmm.
Uh, Taught me a lot of stuff. I just, whenever I could get info, whenever he was in town, I'd go check it out, see what he was doing.
I love that. And
So,
you probably are that person for some people now. Like, even if it's
yeah,
just a residential build where, they're learning from your business and the way you do, the way you
yeah,
operate, the way you
yeah.
communicate.
We have resellers that,
Yeah,
some are new, some have been around. We have employees that I'm teaching the business. So,
yeah, yeah. Okay, tell me how you describe like what you mean when you say resellers. What do you mean when you
as
describe that?
people who, there's people who buy things from us, and in certain instances in this business, it's better to have volume, where
Yeah.
you can get better discounts, and we try to offer them better discounts through volume.
Yeah.
So that's the goal,
Yeah.
having people that buy products from us so we get better deals through other companies.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's kind of key, right? Because when we think about like wanting to get the best prices, which everyone wants to get the best
yep,
price, like
yep,
it is important to understand that. Like if you just go out and you're like, I want to build a golf simulator, and you just start ordering from all these companies, like you're really not creating the best package you could as if you're collaborating with bigger known names who are creating more volume and like have
yep.
more knowledge and
Yeah, and
understand.
sometimes with those people, it can be hard to get information, when you're overwhelmed,
Yeah.
with the build of a golf simulator. Sometimes that can be overwhelming, and uh, we're try to make ourselves as easy as possible to get a hold of. I do my best to answer things as fast as
Yeah.
possible, because I know, you don't want to wait around to get your golf simulator up. So,
I remember one of the first things Denise told me when I started was like the customers are like kids at Christmas. Like they
yeah,
just so
yeah. You spend so much time
excited.
waiting for the stuff to, get to you, and then
Yeah.
you get it, and then you're like, oh my gosh, what am I supposed to do with all this stuff? So then we help them through that process,
Yeah.
and everything. It's gotten a little easier now. I used to have to like do installs of all the like hardware, because it was kind of difficult. Now these companies have made it a lot easier for people to do it themselves. So that's gotten a lot more helpful.
Yeah.
So,
Are there any vendors who you have like a unique or exclusive collaboration with that are
I don't know. I
notable?
don't think so.
Like, do you
Um,
order any specific products with a company that someone's not going to really get unless they're working with
oh
you?
yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, about a year ago, we started working with our screen people and here in Minnesota,
Yeah,
and yeah, we've customized our own screens working with them. So
that's so cool. So
yeah,
that's my
it's really
dog.
nice because like before we'd put a screen up and then we'd have to get measurements and do the trim padding around it.
Yeah.
Now we all we have to do is give these guys the width and the height dimension and an aspect ratio, what we want the screen, and they get everything. It's the we there's a net and a screen and the trim padding, everything you need.
So
So
you have worked with them to so that there's like an understanding between you, like this is exactly what we want. And when you're ordering, like the customer is getting like we Green Pro knows this is the way to go. This is
yep.
it's just faster
Hmm.
and easier.
Yep.
How'd you decide to do that with Carl's Place and not a different, I mean, because they're fabulous, but other than that, did you consider other companies to create that sort of collaboration with, or
No, not really. Just kind of happened.
yeah, yeah, you knew you liked the product
They were pursuing me for a
instinctively.
while. Like
Yeah,
they knew of me because I had ordered things from them in the past, and then they were like pursuing me. And this is
that's fun.
our screen maker here in
Yeah,
Minnesota.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah, they
yeah.
had their eye on that guy. There's these like I don't know how much social media you participate in, but sometimes like something random, like a soap company or whatever, will like call up a customer and be like, "Hey, we noticed you've been buying a lot of product from us." And it's just, and the customer is like, "What? How did you notice?" Like that's what I thought of when you're like,
Yeah,
"Who's
yeah,
this
it was kind of
Jeremiah
that
guy?"
deal. I had bought some things from him in the past, and I was like, I'm happy, I'm content with where I'm at now, and I just kind of blew him
Yeah.
off, and then all of a sudden, something happened, and I had to go to him again, and I'm like, okay, we'll give you a chance here, and then he started doing cool things for us, like customizing them the way we wanted them,
I
and
love that.
so then we just decided to go with him exclusively for that.
Awesome. What does that offer your customer that's different than someone else ordering from Carl's Place?
It's just more of a, they get that custom product that fits perfectly every time. Carl's Place is great at that too.
Yeah,
We just kind of wanted our own little branded thing.
I love it.
So yeah,
That's really fun.
yeah,
I like that.
yeah. We haven't branded it yet though. It's just we use it, but someday we will.
I think it was the interview with Scott and Surf thing where he was talking about like manufacturing and customizing products along the way.
Yeah,
And like
yeah. I watched
such an
that. That was
interesting product. That's such an interesting process to me to like
yeah,
be like, we want a cord, but we want it this way. And like
yeah,
it's a big process to
yeah.
customize your own stuff like that.
Those guys, I've watched them evolve. They're a cool company.
Yeah, that's great. Um, what what are like the common things that people who are interested in building either residential or commercial spaces don't consider? Like they like just like it doesn't cross their mind, they don't think about it. But because of your expertise, you're helping them realize like, oh, it needs to happen this way, or you don't want to forget about this. Like what are the common like misconceptions about building a golf simulator?
We usually help people, locate where the framework's going to be and where things are going to be mounted, routing electricity to where it needs to be, cable runs, things like that. That's things that they don't know that they need help with, and then just random things that they don't know they need.
It is such
Uh,
a complex system, like once it's built,
yeah.
like you just said, electric. Do you communicate with the customer ahead of time to be like, we need an outlet here and it needs to be this certain kind of outlet? And so they're
Yeah.
getting the electrician there before you even arrive. So all those pieces are in place.
Yeah, for the most part, when it's new construction, we get involved pretty heavily. Like I've worked with people up to 2 years before they build their golf simulators.
Wow.
Uh, a lot of times it's a year, 8 months, and all of a
Wow.
sudden, oh yeah, I'm ready to build, and we were like talking. Their house was still in stick phase when we started working together, or just plans on a piece of paper.
That's cool.
So, a lot of times they'll go in and go, "Oh, I have these dimensions," and I'm like, "No, it'll be better if you can make them these dimensions," and they'll change all their plans to make it, so it's perfect.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then we find ways to get creative and make it fit into places that exist already. So,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
that's sometimes a little harder, but um,
And you have customers who you're doing the full install, like design, ordering, piecing together, and then
mhm.
installing.
Yep.
And then you have customers who are a little more do it yourself. Are you doing like some design and product ordering and then they build? Or like, what's the
Yeah.
difference
Yeah.
between your customers?
We have a mix of all of them.
Yeah.
Commercial, residential. Some people do it themselves. Some people we do it all. Some people we do parts of it.
Yeah.
Some people we just sell one little part to,
Yeah.
whatever they need at the time, uh, and then we get tons and tons of repeat business.
That's fabulous. I can see why too. Do you have, if you were to grow a leg of Green Pro, like would do you have an interest in like doing more commercial work or doing more installs or like is there a piece that you'd like to see grow?
Yeah, we're kind of working on it now, but we're trying to get an online store set up and
Mm,
things, so
yeah,
more, you know, selling things online.
right. So
Um,
it's less of a like constant back and forth emails of
yeah,
which
just
XYZ
order.
should I order, and it's more like here's our recommended
Yep,
package or whatever. These
yep,
are
some more
pieces.
order filling type thing, and
Yeah, that's fun.
someday we'll get ourselves a little warehouse or warehouse slash showroom. We have a nice showroom here. It's right over there.
I know. I actually haven't seen it. Someday I want to
Oh,
see
yeah. Well, I'd have to go for a little
it.
hike outside.
Yeah, no, no, but
Uh, it's not looking too good out here today.
I'd love
So
to see some video or something in there.
I have another building right over there. It's inside of there. It's big.
And you have a decent amount of product that like you are almost like holding like a store, or are most things you're helping people order directly from the company?
I do a lot of drop shipping through companies. I keep a bunch of projectors on hand
Yeah.
because they can be hard to get.
Yep.
So I have a pretty good track record of not running out of projectors.
Good.
So it's getting harder now because I have to store more of them. So
Yeah. Yeah.
with more salespeople, but I've done pretty good. Like when
Nice.
people are out, a lot of times we'll have it.
Yeah.
Um, so
What are you anticipating this golf sim season? Because I know we're headed into it. Anything different
just
or
never know.
more of the
You
same?
just
You
never
just
know.
never
Like our
know.
slow season this year was pretty busy, and then it's just been slow right now when we're kind of busy, but I feel like it's just about to ramp up.
Yeah.
So we're
Wonder if
still
it's
starting to,
actually slow or if it just feels slow because you're better at it.
yeah, I don't know. I think it was slow.
Okay.
I was getting bored.
You're getting bored.
Yeah. So,
You're a keep me busy guy. Keep me
yeah.
challenged.
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it's gonna pick up now. I feel like we got a lot of commercial leads in the hopper right now, and
Nice.
yeah, those are always fun
Yeah.
because you go into a place and you build, you know, 3 to 7, 10, whatever they got.
Yeah. Those are
Mm.
getting a lot more use than a residential space. Do you have to go back and like replace things or like is there more upkeep in a residential or is it pretty solid once you build, it's kind of good to go for a while?
Residential's time is your enemy in those, technology. computers, things like that.
Yeah.
Uh, they expire so fast. And in commercial, really the only thing you ever go in and replace is hitting mat and you do your screen every once in a while. Nothing else
It's
really
just like
wears.
repetition and use.
I mean, my
Yeah.
Unicores at Monticello are still the original ones that I put in there in the beginning, and they still work great.
That's so cool.
I've replaced a lot of other things, projectors and computers, but they get a lot of use. So that place is probably one of the busiest places I've seen
That's amazing.
for golf simulators that I have. So,
What's it? Okay, I could ask you a million questions, so we'll wrap up here soon, but I'm gonna ask this next one. Um, in a resort where they're shifting over a seasonal resort, not down further south where it's just always the season, but up here, um, what tends to be a reason they would not put in a golf simulator? Just space, finding the right space, money, just overwhelm, like what? Why doesn't every golf resort have a wintertime simulator space?
uh, it's mostly space, if you have the space
Yeah.
and then the ability to staff it.
Yeah.
Some places they have a person who runs it as a golf pro. They want to go south for the winter. That's their gig.
Yeah.
I've run into that, and then there's space. You go into a place, they got a Sundance golf course here, not down the road.
Yeah.
Originally, I partnered with them, and it's a bowling alley too, and they only had room in the bowling alley, so we put this thing in the bowling alley, and they had a massive building with huge rooms, and everything had a ceiling height of 8 feet.
Oh,
So
wow. And you
they
need
ended up.
10?
What's that?
Is 10 what you need? At
Yeah, I
least?
mean, 10's ideal, especially for commercial.
Yeah.
If you're residential and you're, less than 6 feet, you can get by with like 9.
Yeah.
It gets feel a little cramped.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always tell people just use as much space as you can. There's a such thing as too big, but use as much space as you can so you don't feel cramped up because it's no fun swinging a club when you feel like you're gonna hit something.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like space. Space
Mm-hmm.
is a big thing, and then staff. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's kind of how Breezy Point came about. They had all kinds of space. They had lots of staff. They weren't sure about the finances of it, and that's when Nolan reached out to me, and I just offered to, do it because I
Yeah.
knew it was a profitable thing because I'd already done it.
Such a good model.
So,
And they've
and they
just
they could
grown
have
it
went on
and
without me,
evolved.
in their new venture with the new restaurant, and I just treat them so good, and that that they decided to keep me on, and I just come up there and keep everything tip top shape, and
Nice.
it's fun because I like going there and hanging out and
Yeah.
staying the weekend, and just gets you. It's a couple like 2.5 hours north, so gets you out of town.
Yeah. Okay,
So
last question, I promise. And then I'll just give you space to say anything you didn't get to say. I know you like to travel with your kids. That's the impression I get. Is that
mhm.
do you seek out golf simulator spaces when you travel? Like the
We
thing, like
don't
you
do a
go,
lot of
you're on
that,
your
but
own.
a lot of the traveling I do, I just kind of tag along on builds when they're going places,
Yeah.
or we go down to Florida for the golf show or whatever. But I don't like flying that much. That's a little secret.
That's why you've got all your employees to do the
Yeah.
flying and the
I
build.
mean, I don't mind flying. It doesn't bother me, but I have issues with my like ears and stuff when I fly, so
Yeah.
I don't like to fly that much.
Yeah.
But I'll do
That's
it.
right. Yeah.
No, we don't really we get most of our leads and we go that way.
Yeah.
I when I go on vacation, I try to enjoy myself as much as possible. Uh, but yeah.
Well, good. Anything you didn't share that someone listening might want to hear from you? Um,
Uh, No, I don't know. I don't think so.
You're like, no, they don't want to hear from me. Yes, they do. I just wanted to give you that space in case there was something you thought you'd say in this time. And
Right.
thank you so much. This has been
Yeah.
fun. And
Mhm.
just keep, I guess I'm along for this ride. Keep growing with you.
Yeah, yep. I've been busy this last couple weeks adding on new vendors and things that I
Yeah.
find interesting. So who knows if we'll sell any of the stuff, but
Yeah.
it's more options we can give people.
Well, if you are trying new things, we all now know they have been well researched.
Yep.
So fabulous. All right. Thank you so much.
All right, you bet. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.